Hello, everyone, and welcome to a video where a mentally ill cancer patient, I guess, with a fake Afro wig and an AI generated voiceover, is trying to convince people um, that Honda's Indiana factory is a new thing, and that means that Trump's tariffs are working because Trump said they were working, and he didn't know that Honda had a factory in Indiana that was already making cars before Trump came into office, and that them announcing that they are going to do the exact same thing they always did isn't anything like remotely newsworthy, right? Like the whole thing is he's saying like, oh, we'll get millions of jobs. No one fucking wants jobs anymore, right? Like this is how you know these guys are out of fucking touch, right? Nobody wants a job; they want money for their labor, right? Jobs don't do that anymore, right? Like that used to be like what a job was, right? A manufacturing job, for example. That's not the case anymore. You want to make money, you sell like feet pics on OnlyFans, right? And you can still do that, and it'll be way more money than you'll ever make at a manufacturing plant, right? Nobody fucking wants to deal with you self-righteous cunts because you guys aren't like actually helping people, right? It's the same with the far left. The far right and the far left horseshoe together to be incompetent cunts and obnoxious fucking retards. It's the most disgusting bullshit I've ever seen, right? Like, look, nobody wants to like go to your church because you're retarded and you just say, "Oh, if we hate gay people, we'll get a better economy." You don't get a better economy. You just get a worse economy. But old fucking schizophrenic fucks who can't even remember their own underwear brand. Apparently, those guys will be happy when they die tomorrow because they're that fucking old, right? And this guy is brain dead enough to fall for that boomer fucking shit. No, fuck those old cunts. They sold us out to China. They get to die. Still sold out to China. You want to beat the commies? Kill your fucking grandfather, motherfucker. Tell him that that you're doing this because Jesus told you that Ming Ling and Winnie the Pooh is a fucking cunt, and you don't like the fact that they sold you as a Winnie the Pooh slave, right? If you do that, then I'll fucking believe that you actually care about the American people. But that will never happen. Actually, if you want to do, I'll give you one better, right? You don't have to kill your grandfather. Just one boomer. But you have to send his head into to my mailbox, okay? And his name is Larry Fink, right? Behead Larry Fink and send his head like to my mailbox, and then I will mount it on my wall as a prize for the one who actually convinced someone to save America. Okay? Because that's what's killing America. That's the guy who's the reason why you can't afford a new house. Well, this guy apparently can because he's not actually an average American. He's a rich, wealthy millionaire who is armchair socializing his fucking bullshit. Like, he's just like Hassan Piker, but pretending to be a little more conservative. Like, no, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, right wing Hassan Piker. Like, no, legitimately, fuck you. You're a fucking communist scumbag. Fuck you. Right? Like you cannot convince me otherwise. Okay. Like I'm playing Avowed, and that means I'm fucking brain dead and easily influenced, right? And yet somehow I am, not falling for your shit. That means that what that means is that you are so fucking full of shit that not even an avowed player can be swayed by your dumbass fucking arguments. Okay?
Threats are already paying off in a massive way. In the short 6 weeks that he's been president, he has already secured over $1.7 trillion in investment in America.
Oh wow, $1.7 trillion in investment in America. That would be great if it was actually true, but sadly, it's not. sadly, like I live in this place called the real world, and that is not a thing here, right? That's not how things work, right? In the real world, like this place called IRL, right? You might have heard of it. People, right? People when the people are broke, not because like some investment needs to be done. Because here's the thing, right? If those investments needed to be done, right? Why would they need to be done? Because here's the thing, right? If that was all it took was more money, then why are these multi-billion-dollar, even trillion-dollar companies not doing it already? What, they just needed a $1.7 trillion? They're worth $30 trillion, but they just needed an extra trillion. No, they didn't. Don't be that fucking dumb. Like you pray to God. How about you use your God-given brain cells to think for 5 seconds? Okay. Like if you think Larry Fink didn't just fucking sell out the country and that killing him would save America then you should be thinking that now. Because goddamn, dude, you are this obnoxious fucking brain dead loser cunt. I cannot fucking fathom someone being this fucking stupid, right? Like this is the real thing, right? Like the only reason conservatives seem to be intelligent is because some left wing skeptic agrees with them on a couple things here and there, right? Okay, like let's just face it. Like none of you have any actual influence because you guys are that fucking stupid, right? And you know why you're that stupid? Because you believe that doing anything that would actually make you more intelligent, is sinful and satanic, right? These are the guys who believe that that atoms cannot change any form or functionality of themselves, right? Like these are the guys who believe that that evolution is a lie because we can't make a dog into a lizard, even though that's never been what the theory of evolution said. But because Pokemon isn't real, apparently Darwinian evolution, how biology actually explains it, is also false. Because Pokemon, a fictional universe in a cartoon, which they view as a satanic ritual for some reason. Apparently, because that is fiction, apparently they will admit Pokemon is fiction, but then pretend it's real, and it's actually teaching kids like satanism, right? They're like this is like how you know that these guys are all like completely brain rotted, right? And yeah, look, guy, right? Here is the solution to all your troubles, right? When a crocodile old bitch with a dry vagina complains about something that you agree with in a Walmart and gets arrested for it, you should stop agreeing with whatever that was, okay? Because when a person is a Karen agrees with you, you're fucking off the line, right? Like that's how I view when like things are too far left or too far right in my positions. Does a Karen agree with it, right? Because they will always take the most extremist positions on anything, right? If it's abortion rights for the left, or anti-abortion takes on the right? Because it turns out, that yes, you do have to play a bit of middle ground there. Not abort half the baby, as Siwan had jokes, but there's a bit of a hey, certain trimesters shouldn't be allowed to abort people, and certain times, yeah, it's a little less fucked up, like, hey, if it's the first trimester and that baby is not even a fucking baby, but literally like a fucking clump of yellow goo, that's what a baby is, by the way, when it's a early fetus, right? Now, third trimester, that's a baby. Like if you force it, because here's the thing, a good way to say like whether abortion is okay or not, if you give that person a C-section, will it end in a miscarriage, or will you have to kill it later, right? basic, and that should be the end all be all. Is the baby already alive if you give them a C-section? If yes, then that's a human life, and you need to not have the abortion, and just it's a C-section, and that's it, right? If they are not alive, well, then you didn't really take a life. It wasn't alive yet. It wasn't capable of life yet. It had no brain functionality to be alive, right? So yeah, there are little differences in that system, right? 3 months, and sometimes up to 6. You can easily between 3 and 6 months. Between 0 and 6 months, most of the time, and all the time up to the first 3 or 4, and then most of the time for those last 2 or 3, right? That's not actually a human life, but when it comes to those last 3 months, yeah, that's a human life. You need to fucking just have that baby then. Because, look, I don't really care. Look, just give her a C-section and have her adopt it to someone else or something, that's just how I view things. Yeah, if it's early on enough in the pregnancy, yeah, it's it's whatever, right? But once it starts thinking, once it starts having its own little noggin in there, and is actually a truly self-conscious being, yeah, what the fuck are you doing the shit to it, But this is the real case between guys like this and then the fucking green shirt guy who was whining about Trump being elected in 2016. Neither of these guys are reasonable. These are guys with extremist retarded positions. And yeah, there's a reason why they get kicked out of Walmarts every 5 fucking minutes, right? But both of them, the far left and the far right, both get kicked out of Walmarts for being retards, right? You know who doesn't get kicked out of a Walmart for holding their positions? Me, right? You want to know why? Because when I go to a bar, what I do is I talk to people, and I talk to the average American when I do that, right? And it turns out that the average American, right, agrees that Trump isn't really that great, but he's better than Kamala would have been. And that's really all anyone really has to say on that. Hey, it's not as bad as Kamala. Things aren't really changing or improving, but hey, it seems a little better. So I don't have to pretend to like Trump or suck his dick to admit that yeah, he probably is better than Kamala Harris. But I'm not going to pretend that this Jesus mogul cunt is doing anything but trying to make America Nigeria again, I guess. You know what Nigeria is, by the way? So Nigeria has this cultist named Helen Upabio. This guy might have heard of her. She's a child murdering psychopath who kills children for any minor misbehaviors and slights against their parents, right? And the reason why she keeps getting away with her crimes against children in Nigeria is because they believe like this guy and are far right Christians, right? This is what Nigeria is an actual Christian nation, right? That's what Christian nationalism is, just for those who are wondering. That's where it actually leads. It leads to nothing but economic decay and genocidal child murderers being promoted for all to see, right? Literally genocidal child murders. I am not fucking kidding. That's what this guy wants for America. He wants Helen Upabio style people to be appropriated into society. Now, I, as a red-blooded American, will just say no to to the fascist and communist takeovers of America. But this guy, he actually wants American citizens to just bow down to child murdering psychopaths. And Winnie the Pooh. And the reason why is because he's a fucking loser. Right? Notice how his complaints, right? When he complains, he'll be like, oh, it's manufacturing jobs. No one fucking needs a manufacturing job. You know what people need? Money. You know how you make money in America? You don't get a manufacturing job. That's how you make money in America. You dumb cunt, right? That's just all you have. That's all you have to know, right? Nobody wants this bullshit that you're selling anymore, right? Because guess what? We can all make more money and do more of what we need to do without this bullshit. Come on, bro. Why are you simping for Helen Fabio? Come on, tell me. Why do you want Helen Fabio to run America? Why do you want a genocidal child murderer who's guilty of murdering hundreds of thousands of black kids in Nigeria, who can't even leave her continent anymore because everyone in Europe and the Americas has banned her from existing in their country. Like, she's literally such a dangerous person. She will be shot on sight in anywhere besides Nigeria. But in Nigeria, she's promoted because she's a good Christian woman, right? This is how you know that these guys don't believe any of the shit that they say, because if they did actually get their way, they would be mortified at how awful Christians can be when put in power and their words made law. I don't know about you, but I'm American. I like guns. Boop. And this is like boop, boop. And that's how I do, right? And eventually I die by an axe. You know what? It's better than whatever this fucking freak wants. Anyway, let's continue watching this sub-Haitian IQ individual speak before it tells me how much it wants to eat my cat and dog.
That is going to lead to hundreds of thousands of good-paying jobs.
Hundreds of thousands of good-paying jobs. That's not a lot of jobs, buddy. I don't know if you know this, but America doesn't need hundreds of thousands of good-paying jobs. We need hundreds of thousands of good-paying jobs. Did you know that there are hundreds of millions of Americans, right? We don't have a job crisis either. The unemployment rate isn't that high, right? And neither is the good-paying job thing a shortage, right? Like, this is the real kicker here. Like, the jobs we have that we currently work pay more than this shit, and we work 3 of those motherfuckers, right? You're telling us that another job is all that we need? What the fuck are you on, right? We already work 3 jobs a day and have an OnlyFans. We're making plenty of money. We can't afford a house because Larry Fink doesn't want us to. Not because of any of your fucking lame ass bullshit. That's why I say, if you want someone to, if you want to trust someone, ask them a question. Do they want you to behead Larry Fink? And if that's what they want you to do, they're a good person. Otherwise, they're a sellout piece of shit like this guy. And trust me, I know. Because I've dealt with this before. But let's let the sub-Haitian speak again.
As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel below.
Alright, it's shilling out its AI-generated social media bullshit. Notice how it says retired Brandon. Okay, so you're retired. You should say retarded, but you're retired. So that means you're not working anymore, right? Well, why do you care? Why are you acting like you need to work then, right? You don't need to work then, right? You're retired, right? So this retired dude who is not suffering at all, who could actually help people who are suffering, is not doing that. And instead telling people that other people can help them from their suffering. He's doing what the far left does, which is not in my backyard, help people. Otherwise it's known as NIMBY leftist, which is basically what wokeism is, right? It's like, hey, I can help you by not helping you and deferring your help to someone else who can help you. They get paid to help you. I don't get paid to help you. I'm just a fucking douche tuber. I get that, but you're no one fucking likes you anymore. That's the reason why you're fucking full of shit.
Let's start with Donald Trump addressing Congress last night and announcing this massive win, $1.7 trillion in investment.
Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion in investment in America. A combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle announced 500.
OpenAI and Oracle, right? So OpenAI and Oracle, $1.7 trillion of investment. Who would want to work for the guy who's literally killing all the jobs in America? Like, this is the funny thing. He's like, we're going to add in manufacturing jobs. For who? OpenAI, the guys who literally don't have anything in hardware. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, what brain dead take is this? They do software for AI development that takes jobs away. Like, you'd have to be the most unintelligent person to believe that those are the guys that are going to provide jobs of manufacturing to people, of all things, right? Yeah, the people who have worked their entire ass off to destroy the American brick and mortar industries are going to somehow build them now that they're all gone, right? How about instead of falling for it again, we just say no and flip them off, and then ask them to kiss our asses, and then murder Larry Fink. Like, we'll behead Larry Fink. That'll scare Sam Altman into acknowledging that that people know who actually who he is too, and we'll come after him if he tries to do something like that again. We'll scare him off too, right? By beheading Larry Fink, and then that'll all go away, and we'll have all our jobs again. But until then, we'll just be like doing this whole song and dance of bitching and moaning, asking the government to nanny state us back to work. Did you know, like, instead of nanny stating yourself back to work, you could just go to become a furry porn artist for like nothing? Right, all it takes is just like being kind of good at art and being willing to draw feet pics for $10, and you'll make a lot of money doing that. You'll make a lot more money than you will complaining about furry porn. I can tell you that. If that's what you want, furry porn. I mean, if you want money, just do furry porn. Stop simping for the Bible. It's not worth anything anymore.
$100 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook told me, he said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that. Instead of in China. Just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 87% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
So while the Democrats want to tell you that the tariffs are ineffective and they're stupid, the leaders of these trillion-dollar multinational corporations are sitting over each other, charging players of government inside of America. Donald Trump is extremely business-friendly environment in America. The most robust market on the planet Earth, so long as they help out the American worker in the process. I don't see how Democrats claim to be pro-worker, but then support companies laying off American workers and opting to move their manufacturing to a low labor cost.
Well, the reason why is that Democrats are full of shit, but so are the Republicans. If you think that that's gonna be anything, right? Like, AI companies are gonna hire people. Like, what the fuck are you on?
Where they can exploit the labor force. And then
Yeah, like exactly what AI does too. Like, what are you on? Like, AI literally steals all the work you've ever done in your entire existence to make a furry porn generator for like some rich fucks, right? I mean, also for me, like I can get money off that too. But like, that's what it does, right? Like that's what it does. It like all the artwork that mankind has ever produced, every story you've every story ever written, every word ever spoken, every dumb fucking whatever you do has been used to train these AI models. Like, every shit you've ever took, some like company has spied on you and used that to make shit porn videos for someone in Germany, right? So that should be like a basis of why I don't really give a flying fuck what some Christian says when they promote AI, right? Like, yeah, AI can do a lot of things. Yeah, you want to know what one of those big things is? You want to know what one of those big things is? It can make some furry porn. It was trained on all the art of the world. and it can do that for free, and you can get like some $10 for e-porn for free now. Except now it's not just $10; it's $500 for e-porn. Now you got like some good artists there, right? So now, right, all you've done is like all you've done is take all of everyone's work, including all the manufacturing work, and put it in a bot that can do it all for you. And now you lost your job, right? So that's how fast food companies and all of them are also losing their jobs because AI can just do it better. So who the fuck wants to pay you, your fucking Afro dumbass, to do anything? They don't. All you are is a mouthpiece for what people want you to say. You aren't a real person to anyone who's paying you. Just so you know that, okay? You can hate me all you want, but I'm not fucking lying. You know what? They hated Jesus for speaking the truth too, dumbass. Guess what? I might not be as nice as Jesus, but I'm just as truthful. And guess what? All you're doing is selling your own enslavement. Enslavement, because guess what? They're not paying you. What they might do is they might have found a lithium mine in America, and because the dead niggers in Africa all died of COVID, they want some live niggers like you to fucking work the farm, right? That's what'll happen. That's what'll happen. You'll just be the live nigger used to mine the lithium, okay? Because the niggers that they were using died. So like that's all that'll happen, right? That'll be your job, being the replacement for the dead niggers in Africa. We'll have live niggers in America again, working the lithium mines for the AI companies, right? You won't get paid, and you will die a slow, painful death caused by mining lithium and being a slave. But you will have a job, I guess. It just won't get paid. Yeah, congratulations. Like that'll be your future. But don't blame me, right? Just blame yourself, because you're the one who is ignorant to the truth. But anyway,
right back into America. Donald Trump is standing up for the American worker. And on top of that massive $1.7 trillion investment, today Honda came out and said they're moving their factory from Mexico to Indiana to avoid tariffs.
they already had a factory in Indiana, and they're not closing the one in Mexico. What if either of those statements were true, what he said would have some modicum of truth. It just wouldn't be true. But since both of those are true, right? They still have manufacturing in Mexico, and they already had manufacturing in Indiana. He hasn't said anything that was changing. He just said that the same shit that always happened will continue to happen, right? This is what Larry Fink wants. Like Larry Fink told you to get rid of DEI, right? And so you got rid of DEI, but all that really changed was the words, right? So like now instead of DEI, it's whatever the Jew in charge said to change it to, right? So now instead of DEI, I don't know, maybe it's maybe instead of DEI, America will change it to fucking Squidward, tentacles or something. I don't fucking know. All I do know is that nothing actually will change productively out of there. All right. Okay. Oh shit. That sucks. I just realized I have to do an ice spell. Oh wait, no, I can just use this fucking thing. Fucking dumbass. There we go.
Sources say Honda has decided to produce its next generation Civic hybrid in the US state of Indiana. The switch from Mexico is to avoid potential tariffs on one of its top-selling car models, the people familiar with the matter have said. The change underscores how manufacturers are scrambling to adapt to US President Donald Trump's proposed 25% tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada. Several automakers have expressed concerns about the levies, but Honda's reported move would be the first concrete measure by a major Japanese car company. The sources said Honda now plans to build its new Civic model in Indiana from May 2028, with an expected annual production of around 210,000 vehicles. All of those speaking to Reuters requested anonymity, as the information has not been made public.
The problem is America's sold out.
Yeah, America did sell out. Why are you surprised at about that though? I mean, look at you, right? You are falling for like this still after they've apparently done this to you before, right? Why? Like, why are you continuing to fall for it? Right? And why do you expect them to like do anything but like bully you even further, and then ask you why you're hitting yourself as they repeatedly punch you in your face with your own fist, right? That's what's going to happen, right? You're going to just have America go, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself, right? As they continue to pummel you with your own fist into your own face, right? But really, I do have to ask, why are you hitting yourself? You know, does it get you off or something? Right? Like, is that like a fetish of yours or something? Like, I want to know, right? Like, what is it that you have that you just want to punch yourself in your gob for, right? But like, why do you like to hit yourself? Right? Why are you your own bully? Come on, come on, my guy. What? Why so soy now that I've said a slightly mean thing to you? Like what changed? Right? What changed, my guy? You want to know what changed? Nothing. I was just honest about like what the far left and far right did, and you didn't like that. So maybe you shouldn't support them. That's what I would do, right? But anyway. Don't know about you, but I could use less proud brain dead like a submissive fucking cunts in my life. Just seriously, you want me to respect you at all? All you gotta do is when someone abuses you and starts beating you up, don't like that, right? Because that's not okay, right? You shouldn't like it when people punch you in the face. All you gotta do is just not like it. I just find that weird that you like being punched in your face. Like that. That's very weird. I mean, maybe you're advertising your fetish because you want like someone to indulge it, right? You want someone to punch you in the face, for like to get you off, right? And that's fair, right? But like, I don't know if that's very Christian, but I'm pretty sure it's not. But hey, if that's what you want, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna participate in it. I'm not gonna say yes though, right? Like, you do you. Right, I'm playing Avowed, so it's basically the same thing. Granted, I didn't pay for it. I stole it because I'm not going to pay hundreds of dollars for this thing, right? I just find that like counterproductive. But hey, fuck you. Like,
Our manufacturing 50 years ago
dodge
to
that.
appease businesses trying to achieve the lowest labor costs possible. And we enriched numerous countries, specifically China, and look what they did. They used American money to enrich themselves just to turn around and become our #1 geopolitical adversary. And the COVID pandemic exposed just how vulnerable America was and reliant on our #1 adversary for the most important and critical things needed to maintain our security. And within the last 50 years, a cultural mindset has emerged that America is just this naive place with endless pockets that can be taken advantage of and siphoned off of who wants to do business with us. And now that the gravy train is over, and finally we have a president who wants to concentrate the vast wealth of the United States on improving the lives of its citizens, every country acts like we're the bad guys and expects our government to put the priorities of them over the priorities of its own citizens.
Well, no. What they're doing is just saying, yeah, this isn't going to work out for you, buddy. You can try to intimidate us, but it's not going to happen, right? And what do you know? We're trying to intimidate them, and it's not fucking working. Like, it's almost as if, right, like, you're just full of shit, and people don't really like care to cater to you anymore. Right, it's like the same thing with the left, right? The left is full of shit, so we don't cater to them anymore either. Like, we've never catered to people who are full of shit. Like, that's all you gotta do, just not be full of shit, and then the American people might cater to you a bit more, but you are objectively full of shit. Like, if you think that making Helen Upabio, the solution is going to be something that anyone falls for, think again, buddy. Like you Karens might have pushed and shoved to try to ruin America for all of us, but we still just kicked you out of Walmart, didn't we? Right? That's all that you ever really accomplished was annoying people and getting kicked out of Walmart. Power to you. You annoyed people by being obnoxious cunts and got kicked out of Walmart. I don't know why that's a feat you feel proud of. I think anyone could have done it. I don't think people think you're a cunt for like being able to do that. It's not really like an ability to be proud of, right? It's just a thing anyone could have done that you just decided to do, right? Like, obviously, most people don't want to do all that, right? It's definitely a lot of work to get kicked out of Walmart, to be fair. It's not that it's an amazing feat. Anyone could do it, but people just are too lazy, right? You're just too lazy to want to get kicked out of Walmart. Well, that and they actually have jobs, and getting kicked out of Walmart is kind of just not productive to anyone. But But hey, buddy, since you like getting kicked out of Walmart, why don't you just throw a hissy fit on YouTube and get kicked off YouTube too, right? Like, did you know that YouTube supports the gays, right? You should you should leave YouTube if you're a fucking homophobe, right? Like, go invent your own space, right? Call it Fagville, right? Because you're a faggot. That hates his own kind, and then maybe I'll respect you because that's kind of funny, right? That you would have done that. But other than the potential humor in you being a self-hating homophobe who calls his own company faggot to try to say how much he hates his own kind, as if people don't have eyeballs and can't tell that he is a massive homosexual. Yeah, other than that, I don't know. I just think it's funny to shit on you for being retarded. What do you think, Ray? Do you think it's fun to shit on retarded people for being retarded? I do, right? And I do because it is fun. Objectively, that is a true statement to make. You should try it sometime. Like make fun of yourself in the mirror. You'll enjoy making fun of a retarded person. It's great. Very therapeutic. Like, that's the only reason I made this video, by the way, is that it's entertaining for me, and it's a good escapism, right? I get to make fun of a retarded dude on the internet. It's very relaxing. But anyway, soy boy. While you complain to Daddy Trump that I was mean to you on the internet, why don't you go tell Elon Musk that he owes me $1,000 on the furry porn he commissioned, my friend, and that I want his I'm asking for $400 billion in interest now. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. But yeah. Avowed sucks, by the way. I'm literally just playing it. I'm gonna play it legitimately, just on these streams, just because I find it funny, to be playing a game like this on a live stream, shitting on a far right YouTuber, who actually fell for his own grift. You know, it's a very sad sight to see that someone is so fucking dumb that they fall for their own fucking scam, right? And, like, imagine if Adolf Hitler fell for Nazi Germany, you know, and wasn't actually a massive ideological hypocrite. That would have been very, very much hilarious. Hitler believed the Nazis were right. Yeah, everyone knows that's false. Anyway, mushroom. This guy is clearly high off them.
And that's why you have Justin Trudeau coming out and saying that Canadians are going to continue to boo the U.S. national anthem.
Canadians are hurt. Canadians are angry. We're going to choose to not go on.
So that's a W. That Canada hates us now. America's hat hates America. That's a W in this guy's mind.
Florida or Old Orchard Beach or we're going to choose to try to buy Canadian products and forego bourbon and other classic American products. And yeah, we're probably going to keep booing the American anthem. But let me tell Americans, we're not booing you. We're not booing your teams. We're not booing your players. We're booing a policy that is designed to hurt us. And we're insulted. And we're angry. But we're Canadian.
First off, booing our national anthem definitely is disrespectful to the citizens, to the service members.
No, it's really not. Here's the other thing, right? Guess what? America, it's actually very beneficial. It's actually what the American soldiers fought for, you dumb cunt. Believe it or not, right? The right to boo the national anthem is a right all Americans have because it's called the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. And by not ever once exercising it, we actually do lose it, right? It's so really, by Canada respecting our Constitution more than us, we actually are destroying our own foundation, right? So Canada is reminding us that that in times of crisis, when you don't like how your government is working, you should boo the national anthem because that is a right you have, and that using that right is actually protecting that right, the right that those soldiers fought and died to protect, right? So those soldiers, our American soldiers fought and died to protect that right, to disrespect the American, the American national anthem. And by telling people that they cannot use that same right to diss people they think are ruining the country, is just obnoxiously screwed up, right? And honestly, I mean, like, the fact that anyone falls for this shit is kind of disgusting. And yeah, no one's gonna fall for it in the long run. Eventually, your kind is gonna go get through too. Your days are numbered. But hey, while you contemplate the fact that I insulted you on the internet, why don't you contemplate this dick and the fact that you have no balls, you fucking fake male?
And totally disrespectful to the historic alliance and relationship we've had with Canada. And now that Donald Trump is simply asking our northern neighbors nicely to do a little bit more on the border to balance out the trade so it's a little bit more beneficial to America, the people who are whining about being our longest friend and ally all of a sudden want to boo our anthem like we're public enemy number one. These Canadians are so Trump deranged and frankly anti-American, I thought we were buddies, that they're willing to start a trade war with a country that represents 19% of their GDP, as opposed to them only representing 1.3% of ours. So not only is...
Who the fuck cares about that? Like, do you really think that that is actually a point? Like, you don't, but like, I'm just asking, like I'm just asking, like, kind of, what's the term? Like, kind of like, just like kind of like be a silly, right? But like, cause I know objectively no one is that dumb, but I kind of just want to pretend like you are because that's funny as fuck to me. Just that the idea that someone would fall for that, like, honestly, is really fucking funny. Okay, let's continue.
Their deep-rooted animosity for America finally coming to the surface, but it's also a ridiculously stupid business decision. That's why some 70% of Canada's largest companies are considering investing in infrastructure and production in the United States because they know at the end of the day, after all this posturing by politicians, if they don't have access to the United States market, they are finished. So while tariffs are undeniably good from a leverage perspective, the Democrats are trying to argue that they're going to be bad because they'll cause inflation. Here's Trump's Commerce Secretary debunking that on CNBC.
I mean, how much pain are we going to be willing to take in inflation if all of a sudden they hit us right back?
Remember, so you made one comment. So inflation comes from a government printing more money. Some prices can rise.
No, that's not where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from from basically every thing involving things. So inflation is when a foreign nation values your money as less than they did before, right? That's what inflation actually is. It's basically how much does another nation value your currency and trade, right? What this guy is implying is that he's implying that that's not like that like the literal definition of birds isn't how they work, right? Your currency doesn't get inflated, like it's inflated because like you have more of it. Is a thing, right? But there's a reason why. He's saying it's why, right? Like he's saying like that's why, right? Like that's how it happens, right? And that's not really the case. What it comes down to is sometimes that increases like the supply, so the demand decreases, right? So that causes inflation because of that, right? It doesn't have anything to do with America printing more money directly, because that's not what actually is inflation. But it will cause that. So like what happens is there are other actions that can also cause other countries to value our money less, right? And what will happen is like all it really has to do is do we value the goods that we import, that people import and stuff, and like the trade, do we value that more or less, right? That's what actually drives inflation, right? Obviously, when you increase the amount of money that's being printed, that happens. But you know what else can happen? Someone like Trump, for example, makes a poor economic decision involving tariffs, where people view that their business will actually be done worse if they deal with someone overseas, right? That's all that is. And also another thing, tariffs, right? Like tariffs themselves, right, are like just like, so the thing is, you don't get leverage from tariffs. You use tariffs to because you already have leverage, right? So for example, China has so much leverage because everyone already uses their their things, right? So everyone already uses products from China, products in China, right? But that's not what causes manufacture the things, right? So tariffs prevent you from buying things outside of your own country because it makes them cost more, right? Okay, so like that's what happens. You pay more for their stuff, right? You get, so if Trump passes a tariff on China, you pay more for things that come from China, right? Same with Canada and stuff, right? That's how that works, right? So you need leverage, economic leverage in their countries to do in your own country to do tariffs, right? So basically, if you are importing more from their country, tariffs work because that means that they rely more on selling you things than you do, right? Like, this is the thing. This guy has it backwards. He's like, well, we rely less on Canadian exports than they do, right? So that means that we have less leverage on tariffs. Yeah, China relies almost all the time on foreign imports. That's why they have the ability to tariff to own their economy. This is the funny little thing. China's tariffs work because the citizens can't make the things, right, that are being tariffed. America could, right? And that's why the tariffs won't work, because if the only reason we don't have jobs isn't the reason this fucking dude thinks, it's because people don't want to make the jobs here, right? These companies don't see it as economically viable to hire us to do work anymore, right? They're not going to. Like, this whole, Trump will make them think differently. That's not how things work. If it was, then how come with very little unemployment we've still had all these issues, right? Like, if unemployment is near 1% at the most, and we're still having all these issues, it's not that people don't have jobs, Buster. We did have that at one point, and we still had all of these issues. It's not the jobs buster, it's that people don't get paid enough at the jobs they already work at, right? And adding another job isn't going to make things better in that case, because we're already working all fucking day. You're basically saying, quit your job and work this other thing, right, that's backbreaking, and so you'll feel even more tired. We'll pay you less money than the 2 jobs you work that you don't have to work your ass off at. It's more money than one of those jobs alone. Now you'll work 8 hours a day and have your back broken and not be able to do a second job. So you actually have less fucking money. But you'll have a broken back and health problems from that. So that's good, Buster, right? These guys just have zero fucking clue what actual problem people are facing. And that's how you know that these issues will continue to happen. Because the only way to fix this shit is to talk to people. That's how you do it. You talk to people. People aren't being listened to by the wealthy elites of the left and right. And so, because of that, people don't feel listened to by either side. Trump is actually a fucking lefty anyway, right? That's the other thing that people like this forget. people only wanted him because he was an outsider to the Republican establishment, right? He was a rhino, which meant that he wasn't a part of your established party when he showed up, right? He changed the party and its values from being these core like conservative positions to a little more left leaning, right? And that was cool. Like, you know, that was dope. And he's still doing that, but like that's the thing, right? I can admit that Trump has done a lot of changes, but it's mostly changes that only really benefit us when we're already doing good, right? Like that's the thing. If America's economy could, like, if Americans ourselves could afford this shit, this would have been fine. Like, this would have been fine 4 years ago, right? But because Biden delayed it, we actually cannot do this fucking bullshit. Like, Americans are starving to death. We're unable to afford food. Most people can't even afford their own housing, right? People are going homeless all the time, despite having all these jobs that pay very well, because it's not the lack of jobs that's the issue. And these guys are like, well, if we only had more jobs, as if people don't have them already, you know? If someone is working 3 or 4 jobs and selling feet pics on OnlyFans and can't afford a house, my guy, it's not because they can't get a fucking good enough job. It's that they can't get a fucking cheap enough house. Like, fucking grow up and listen to America, you fucking cunt.
This bottle of water.
It can't happen at all.
No,
from
tariffs do not create inflation. Printing money creates inflation. You have a balanced budget. There can't be inflation. It doesn't mean one product could be more expensive and one product could be less expensive. But China, I'll give you an example. China has the highest tariffs in the world. In the world. Everything gets tariffed in China, and they don't have inflation. In fact, they have deflation. India, the second highest tariffs in the world. They don't have inflation. So this concept is just people whining and complaining and not being truthful.
Yeah, also, did you know that China and India are very horrendously awful places to live? Full of extreme poverty and starvation and genocide? Like, yeah, like, you know, they're not okay places. I'll defend the economic system of literal communists that don't actually participate in a capitalist society, because as if their positions work in all societies, right? In all economies, right? It's clear like that the communists are better capitalists than us. No, they aren't. Right? They aren't better capitalists than us. They aren't capitalists. They don't have the limitations we do, because those limitations are limitations that only come up in a capitalist society, because communists don't have to subject themselves to those same limitations. Right? You hear me? Right? Because communists have a different system of governance and economic growth, their positions don't have to align with ours economically to be economically viable. Our economy is run differently than China. Did you know that, right? And that should just be the end of that debate, right? Yes, people in different countries run things differently. You know, and those differences are important to acknowledge. They aren't just mamby-pamby differences, those are big differences. Okay? They mean something. Just on their own face value, okay?
We need to protect America.
Get help where you.
So yeah, like there we go. Get help. That should be a good one
AI
too.
assistant at work.
AI
Now
assistant.
15% off for eligible nonprofits. Get started by clicking the link.
15% off. I'll run it for free because I got a better AI anyway. That's another thing. Like AI, I can just run it for free, train it for free and stuff with the one from China, and it's better than theirs, right? So like, That's another thing. China's AI is better. It's free, and I can do what I want with it, right? Like, why would I ever use the American fucking censored bullshit that costs more money to use? I can't, train it myself. I have no access to the source code to know what the fuck's going on with it. But I know, like, mine is still better, and it, because it can do more of what I want. Like, this is the thing. These guys believe that these guys literally believe that AI, like chatbots, are supposed to be like answer machines, basically, and tell you all the truth and stuff. That's how like deluded these fucking losers are, right? For those who want to know what an AI chatbot's function is, it's to mimic human speech convincingly and speak to you. That is all it is. It mimics someone speaking to you.
Tariffs are a widespread macroeconomic phenomenon that affects every product, every service, every industry. Tariffs simply make specific products coming from specific countries more expensive and less attractive than the American alternative. So
Yeah, if there is an American alternative, a lot of those don't have that, right? And you're saying, well, they'll just do it here. Well, why don't we then? Like, why aren't we already? See, this is the thing, right? You have to ask yourself, why is it that we have to have all these systems, right, in place to make things more attractive, right? As if it's like a sexual thing, to American businesses, instead of just, hey, instead of having all this money be required to, support Americans, why don't we just do it ourselves already without that extremely big financial incentive put in place because we want to and we actually care about Americans, right? If you care about Americans, you don't need fucking terror like to incentivize people to care about them, right? Like, the reason why Americans are struggling is because no one fucking gives a fuck about Americans, right? And you're not gonna change that by having like there be a system. This is like the same thing. Like, these are the guys who believe, well, the only reason why people are like I'm moral is that God will like fucking smite my soul and send me to eternal torment if I don't pray to Him, and so that's why I don't murder people. I would actually murder my own sister if God wasn't there. And I'm like, dog, the fuck's wrong with you, right? Like, legitimately, you just have to, like, see what they're saying and be like, what the fuck are you on? That, like, you are on fucking drugs and you need to fucking, like, get better. If that's how you believe that you think, right? Because people who actually love their fellow Americans or their fellow human beings even don't think like that. Oh, the only reason why I'm not murdering someone is I would get punished if I do. Then you don't actually care about people. You want to murder people, is what you said. That's what you said, right? You want to murder people. Like, you lust over the thought of someone dying by your own hand. And you're telling me, oh, I want you to suffer and die by my own fucking hands, but I care about you and I just need money to do it. No, you don't. If you cared about me, you'd already have done it for free. Caring doesn't cost any money, right? Like, doing something might cost money, but it doesn't really. But if you care, like, you'd put some extra money into doing something, right? Like, there's nothing preventing you from caring. You just don't care. And giving you money won't make you care. That's not how caring works, right? Caring is an emotion, okay? The fact of the matter remains, good men who do nothing is a bad term, because good men who do nothing aren't good men. Good men do something when there's injustice that is facing their fellow friends and family, right? You will do nothing because you don't want to do anything. And do not fucking lie and try to convince people otherwise. You do not care about people. You never did. I don't even think you're capable. So just stop fucking lying to your own citizens. It's fucking disgusting at this point that people are allowed to just lie about this shit and pretend to actually care about people to this day.
If you buy American, the prices don't go up. Not to mention Mexico, China, and Canada represent less than half of all the total imports that we buy. And imports represent only 15% of everything that we consume. Another piece of news I wanted to share that highlights the enthusiasm behind Donald Trump's business for America is the spike that happened today with the European bond market. You see Germany up by 8.5%, France up by 4.3%, UK up by 1.2%, Spain up by 4.3%, and Italy up by 3.6%. When bond yields spike like this, it means there is very low interest in European debt. And that's twofold. It's because Donald Trump has made America the best place to put your money. And second, the Europeans are scrambling to try to raise an enormous amount of money to keep funding this endless Ukraine war. And investors are saying, fine, we'll give you money to waste all you want, but it's going to cost you a lot more if you're trying to convince us to invest with you as opposed to the safe bet, which is the United States. And another fatal...
This is a funny thing. Like, okay, so you're a Christian who wants millions of people to die that are suffering purely because it costs money, right? Which, true, like, yeah, who the fuck gives a fuck about Ukraine, right? But here's the thing, I could just not give a fuck about Ukraine entirely, right? Like, this whole we need investments into America thing is bullshit, and here's the reason why. If we needed if Americans really wanted to do business here, they've already done it by now. Like, the thing is, the mom and pop shops closed because we didn't want to do business with them, right? People didn't want to buy from the mom and pop shops. Okay? That's why those businesses went away. You want to know why people stopped buying from mom and pop shops? Because they stopped wanting to do it. That's all. You are being big mad at a basic economic concept that of the postulate of desire. Okay? You think that you can force morals down people's throats through so many things. Guess what? You can't. There will never be a way to force people to have morals. That's just not a thing. And no matter what, you will find that the only thing people will end up doing is what they already wanted to do, right? All you've got is that people all you've proven is that people don't want to help Americans. That's all you've actually proven by doing this. If people don't want to help Americans, they're not going to get helped. Is the situation we're in, there's no real advantage for doing it, right? You say all these things, oh, they import less. Yeah, they import they import more than we do, right? Yeah, that's why they have leverage on tariffs and we don't, right? They import more than we do or something like that. Yeah, that's why they have the leverage. Yeah. The people who have more in the economic, have more to do with the economic systems at play, are the ones who have more advantages with the tariffs. We don't have anything worth importing anyway, right? So, why do you think that'll work? It just won't, buddy. And by the way, the reason why tariffs work that way instead of the way you might think they would work, well, let me show you. Show you, right? So, tariffs, when you import something from someone else, right? Right, you all what happens, right? You import a balloon, right? You import a balloon, right? And then that balloon was going to cost you nothing to import it. Now it costs you like $5, right? So now you pay $5. Then the person who is wants a balloon has to buy that balloon for $5 more, right? But they're going to pay even more than $5 more, right? Now, this guy is saying, well, we'll just use American stuff. But the thing is, right? What American stuff, right? We're not exporting those things for the same reason, right? Because we're not making them, right? Now he's saying, well, it'll make us make things. No. Okay. I feel like I have to explain this, like, to people. Like, it's a very basic bitch little thing to say. But it needs to be said, right? People aren't refusing to make things in America because there's a disadvantage of them doing so, that you can do, like, that you can, that, like, they can't afford to or whatever. People aren't making things in America because there's literally no, there's like no desire to, right? And the desire, right, isn't going to be like something that you can just form with money, right? That's just the reality of the state of how we are right now. Money isn't going to help because money isn't the problem. It's not that we aren't spending enough money on tariffs or whatever, that we have no money to spend. Right? Like, Americans aren't buying the foreign products either, right? We're paying we're paying all this money just to afford rent, right? The way to fix this is to fix the housing crisis. That's the only thing you can do, right? Everything else, right? Everything else is just owned by Larry Fink anyway. So regardless, right? Okay, Larry Fink will make us new jobs. Okay, then why hasn't he? He's a $30 trillion dude, right? He can afford to make a new job, right? Right? And if that's the case, then why doesn't just Trump just pay Larry Fink money himself, right? If that's all it was, like, Larry Fink just needed some more money, why hasn't he done it yet? Why haven't we looked into ways to get Larry Fink to give us some new jobs, right? If that's all it is, that Larry Fink, right, that Lawrence Fink just needs a little bit more money, and then we'll get a job, right? Well, all right. Prove it. Prove that that's all it is, right? Somehow, I don't think that the only reason we don't have jobs in America is that Larry Fink couldn't afford to give us one. I'm just saying, maybe if we threaten to kill Larry Fink if he doesn't give us jobs, he'll give us jobs, right? Or in housing and stuff, right? I'm just saying, right, if the problem is no one can afford houses on 3 jobs that make more money than these new jobs allegedly coming in will do each, but there's 3 of them, right? The problem isn't something that more money will print either, right? Because the problem isn't even money related there. The problem is that housing is costing way too fucking much, right? And the reason why is because of all these housing units owned by one fucking company, right? So Larry Fink owns it all. He owns all the banks and monies for the mortgages too, right? So if a guy owns everything, right, and the problem is in an industry or two, the problem occurs in that industry, right? Logic dictates that the person who owns all those companies is part of the problem, if not the entirety of it. So here's the thing, right? I may be mentally retarded, but I figured that out, right? So if my dumbass can figure this out while sounded like a fucking some fucker, then you can figure it out too, and you have no excuse. The fact that you haven't figured it out honestly disgusts me. Like if even bottom of the barrel humans like me, literal retards like me, can figure it out. Who just died from fall damage from jumping too much excitedly in a video game. Then you can figure it out. And the fact that you haven't yet means you have no excuse.
Blow to the Democrats' illogical Trump resistance is polling came out last night talking to voters about how they felt about Trump's speech to Congress. And the results are a damning indictment of how the public perceives the Democrat Party. Views of Trump's speech, 76% of people approved. Time Trump spent on issues you care about, 63% said a lot. How did the speech...
That's a CBS poll. That's... Who fucking watches CBS?
Only 27% said worried and 16% said angry. Trump's speech was 74% say presidential, 74% say entertaining, 71% say inspiring, 62% say unifying, 46% say divisive. Trump described crime problem as 68% say about as it is, 22% say worse than it really is, 10% say not as bad as it really is. So despite what the experts say about the crime statistics, the American people clearly feel that crime is a problem. Having the congressman removed from chamber...
It's not a problem. Less than 1% of people commit crime, right?
And now finally, does Trump have a clear plan for inflation? 68% say yes. Because Democrats keep screaming, oh, Trump hasn't done it. In 6 weeks, he hasn't fixed 4 years of problems. For someone who the Democrats claim is incompetent, they sure hold Donald Trump to a high standard if they expect him to complete every single campaign promise within the first 6 weeks of office. They're trying so desperately to dull Trump's enthusiasm by making these irrational and unrealistic demands that Trump fixed.
Well, they're not irrational. They're not irrational there, buddy. I don't think you know what irrational means. Okay, so irrational would imply that they actually expected him to do any of it, right? What they're doing, right, is saying that all of this is just going to make things worse, and we can just point to it, right? And we want to stop you before you make things like so fucked up it's unbearable for Americans to continue, right? Because they know like it's continuing to get worse, right? Like right now, right? And it's already was so bad that like making things worse, even in the short run, is unbearable. But the problem is now like so far, Trump hasn't even had a long-term solution here. If your long-term solution is fuck up the American economy enough, and eventually it'll just fix itself, is stupid. If your solution is take away millions of government jobs, and then replace it with hundreds of thousands of jobs for a factory working in a software industry, which makes no fucking sense. Like, how the fuck are you even falling for that, you dumbass? But yeah, factory, for a software company. That makes total sense. Did you know, I have a bridge to sell you to Narnia, if you want one. I can also, sell you one to Terabithia, too. Right? Look, you know what, I'll do you one better. I'll even sell you, a February 31st birthday gift, okay? Okay, I'll give you $10, and then I'll give you I'll have you pay me $10, and I'll give you a bonus of $11 back on February 31st if you just quack and a moo for me, okay? Just quack and moo for me, and I will replace that $10 you gave me with an $11, on February 31st, okay? Right? All right.
Within a month, or he's a failure. And finally, Like Trump's plans for waste in government spending, 77% like. Immigration in the border, 77%. Ukraine and Russia.
This is all CBS though. Who the fuck cares about CBS?
That's because the Democrats.
Okay, let me see like how many people watch CBS. Let's see, 5 million people, right? Apparently, right? But this is like, this is, okay, so how many people do CBS polls, though? The Netflix original movies is the majority of their viewing. I don't. Like, what is CBS like showing? Let's see. All right. Okay, so 60 Minutes is their most watched like news related show. 8.9 million, but they only watch like about a couple minutes of it. I don't really see what your point is there, buddy. That's less than a 30th of America.
Isn't working. The American people have woken up to the lies of the mainstream media and the Democrat politicians. They're not Trump deranged and giving him a.
But the mainstream media is what the most Americans watch, right? So first you put up like CBS, right, which apparently currently is the mainstream media. Which is weird. But yeah, so they are the mainstream media. But then, like, you look at the polls, right? I mean, even if you look at the numbers of the mainstream media, not that many people are watching them, right? But the mainstream media agrees with you. And it's very, while it's watched more than the others, it's still, like, not really watched that much, right? Now, you want to know what most people are watching right now? We aren't watching the news. What we're doing is we might like go on Twitter for a bit, and that's about it, right? You like just go on Twitter, right? Or like Facebook or something, right? For about 5 seconds. But like you're using a CBS poll, not like a Twitter poll, right? Like Elon Musk uses bots to like butt his numbers up, and so does Facebook. So that's another thing, right? Because of all the bot farms that people do. I mean, you're literally talking about AI and then surprise, and then like acting like bot farms don't exist, right? Like Elon Musk literally has robotic yes men, like that just say yes to whatever he says, as well as like accounts where he role plays as his own kid sexually on the site, right? You're using that guy, like you're using like CBS and like that guy's polls, right? Now, a real poll, right? A real poll is a brick and mortar poll, right? That's the only real poll anymore that anyone should ever trust, right? Just go out and go to a bar, right? And now you'll see that a lot of people are not actually trustworthy of any of this. Because that's the American people did wake up and again are against the mainstream media, but you're the mainstream media that they woke up against, right? Like Fox News and CNN are both mainstream media. We woke up against both of them. So yeah, there you go, Buster.
5-week window to solve every single crisis. People like the plan. They like what's already happened. They're excited about the trajectory. And Democrats will just continue what they're doing down the Trump deranged path to nowhere. Despite overwhelming evidence, the public is in support of what Trump is doing. Now I want to leave you guys with the clip.
But there isn't. Like, notice how he says overwhelming evidence the public is supporting it. Here's what I want to know. Can you go to a bar and show me that evidence, right? Like, you want to know what my evidence that isn't happening is? Conservative with Kenosha, Wisconsin. Bernie Sanders went there, talked to the people, right? They were upset with Democrats and they were upset with Trump. They all sided with Bernie, right? A very conservative district in my home state sided with Bernie Sanders over Trump and over the mainstream Democratic elite because guess what? They didn't like where the country was going and they didn't like where the country was with Biden and Kamala either. And that's how real Americans are, right? You go to see like actual people in a real American environment. That's how you do it. You go to a bar, you go to a fucking like bowling alley and talk to people, right? It's also how you get a girlfriend, right? Like, like the best way is to like go out and talk to people, right? And just like hang out and do like fun little things. Chess club, coffee shops, all that shit.
Rocket, who proves once again that it's not hyperbole when we call her ghetto. She is just classless and trash. Watch.
All kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we weren't gonna sit for that shit. We wouldn't. We showed up. And if he had some sense, then maybe we would have been about that life. But y'all know he ain't got no sense. So please give some love. This took a little bit of coordinating to do for sure. We got some cool shirts. We got that a million.
Now, this was after Trump's speech last night, where the Democrats made a complete embarrassment of themselves. They showed how void they were of dignity and character by not applauding for a variety of things that had nothing to do with any partisan issue. Just moments where they could show that they were completely Trump-brained and had an ounce of compassion left in their heart for the American people. They couldn't stand for a 13-year-old survivor of brain cancer who was made an honorary member of the Secret Service. They couldn't stand for mothers who lost their children to illegal immigrants.
Wait. Secret Service 13-year-old kid? Why would anyone want to stand for that? That's fucking disgusting. That's not just a DEI hire. That's a DEI hired child that is fucking like being put on the spotlight for a dangerous job, and you're like, oh, okay, a 13-year-old kid being being told he has to protect the president with his life, and he needs to have this extremely dangerous job where he has to go out and risk life and limb for a politician is apparently something to stand in ovation about. Like maybe it was just a fucking like celebration-y bullshit thing, but I don't think you realize like what they were saying might not be true, and it's just like some bullshit participation trophy, right? But it being a bullshit participation trophy isn't something that a Secret Service position should be anyway. Like, do you know what Secret Service is? It's not something that like should be like held to like this low DEI standard anyway. I thought you didn't like DEI, and now you're like, oh, I'm gonna support like a kid who clearly shouldn't be working at a job like the Secret Service. Working at a job is dangerous at the Secret Service. That's totally what America should be for. Like sacrificing children for a corrupt politician that has billions of dollars. Like, the fuck is wrong with you, right? Like yes, clearly it's hyperbole and it's just a participation trophy for a kid. But here's the little thing, right? Sometimes words matter, and that's those are some pretty disgusting words to say. Like, I'm just being honest, right? Like, a kid working for Secret Service, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Couldn't stand for low border crossings. They couldn't stand for men not being allowed in women's sports. And yet you have fools like Jasmine Crockett coming out and making these classless videos, thinking that somehow it's going to win her any points or favor with the American people. I'll make a video in detail about Trump's speech to Congress yesterday and all the debauchery that took place with the Democrats. I live streamed it last night, but honestly, the end of Trump's speech was one of the most inspiring moments that I can remember. It had me riled up and optimistic
Caring for it. Okay.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thankfully, you have DoorDash. And operated shoppers will deliver groceries right to your door as if you picked them all yourself.
Have you noticed that this guy is just like
Order all your groceries.
supporting all this, but he doesn't actually have any idea where it's going, right? Like he's like, oh, this is happening, right? Okay, why is it happening? Like what has happened, right? Like this is the thing, right? He's like, oh, we got rumors of things happening, but not like proof, right? You know how I know it's just rumors? Because if like what America wants is things to get better, not oh, it will get better if we keep doing this thing eventually. And like how's it gonna get better? Oh, there'll be like AI and stuff to get it better. Oh, AI, the thing that's taking my job, that's gonna make things better for me? And like, yeah, I'm like, but that's what made things worse for me. Like, but it'll make things better because like we're gonna be doing it. I'm like, well, we were already doing it. We spent trillions of dollars doing it. And we're like, well, if we keep doing it long enough, it'll make things better for you. And like, but how? It took my job away. Well, it'll just make things better for you, right? Like the China's already giving us money and stuff, right? We're like, well, how does that help me, right? And then you're like, well, it'll just happen, right? Like, well, that's what the Democrats told me, and that didn't happen either. And it's like, that's the thing, right? Like these guys are acting like, oh, like people want rational answers. No, you want to know what people want? Actual answers. Right? The idea of rationalism isn't going to help when people are in this state. Right? Like if people aren't acting rationally, not because not because there aren't, not because they aren't rational people. People aren't acting rationally because they're suffering. Right? And the fact that a Christian, like an alleged Christian, isn't understanding, that is kind of disgusting because that means that we have outsiders pretending to be Christian, to make money, right? From poor Christian families, right? The people who are trusting this asshole are just getting scammed out of their time, their money, and out of their Jesus as well. And I don't really like that, There's many things I stand for, but using Jesus of all people, one of the few religious figures I actually fucking respect, as a crutch to steal from millions of Americans like this asshole, honestly is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. By the way, don't buy a Val. Just just do what this guy does to old fucking people and steal it, right? Like just like this guy does to broke ass boomers. Do what I do and do what I did to this game, which is what this guy did to broke ass boomers, and just steal it. Right? The difference between me and you though, my guy, while I steal from billion-dollar companies that are worth jack shit to me and have ruined people's lives and have a documentation of decades of sex abuse and stuff under their belt, and I'm just doing, I want to enjoy the game, but I'm not going to ever support them as a company. Right? While you do what you do, I just took this on a thicker repack and fixed the issue there. Right? This game has made $0 from me, and will continue to make $0 from me. I will never pay money for this piece of shit. But hey, I don't know. I don't know. I guess you just support billionaire pedophiles, while I don't. While I report people like Elon Musk to the Federal Bureau of Investigation for openly admitting, and it's on Kiwi Farms, a very conservative site, by the way. Very right-leaning site, Kiwi Farms is, very huge right-leaning site, Kiwi Farms is. And I reported him using the evidence of him admitting to being a child molester who gropes his own 3-year-old kid to the FBI. So let's see how that goes, right? I mean, he admitted to it, so all his words against his own. Anyway, see ya.